Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. So today's video, I am switching it up and I am doing something a little bit different. I am going to do a book video. I've never done one of these before on my channel, but reading is something that was a huge goal for me in 2019, and I don't think I've read one book for 2019 yet, and I really want to change that. So I have, how many books do I have? I have 5 books that are on my reading list for the summer and going into the fall, and I just wanted to share them with you. So let me know if you like these kind of videos. Like I said, this is definitely new for me. It's not something that I do on my channel, but if you guys like it and if the video does well, I maybe will do these like once every 8 weeks, once every 10 weeks, maybe seasonally, I don't know. You let me know what you guys want to see and I'm happy to do that. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm excited to show you what I will be reading. So first up is a spirituality sort of self-help book, and that book is Sacred Powers by David G. I am in love with David G. I follow him on Instagram. I'm just all about him. This book was recommended to me from another YouTuber, and I am just... I'm a little frustrated with myself that I haven't finished this book. I've essentially been reading this book for a year. I started it like last summer, and I just kind of like read a little bit here and there. Really like kind of with, you know, I just need to get serious about it, you know? So this is the first book that I'm gonna finish. Oh my goodness, there's a person walking by and he's looking at me. Yeah. This is gonna be the first book that I like actively start reading, and I just need to finish it. I have about like, I don't know, I'm probably about like 3/4 of the way through, and I just need to do it. So Sacred Powers is, like I said, a spirituality and self-help book, and it really is just about, if you're feeling stuck, or if you feel like you're at a crossroads at life, or you feel like you're just kind of you have no direction, or you're just really struggling with the past and having trouble kind of making the next steps forward, this is the book for you. I wouldn't say that this is more of a spirituality book versus a self-help book, but I would say that if I could like sum it up in one sentence, it would be like, if you're looking for permission to start over and to be reborn and to let go of everything that's held you back, like, now's the time. And I just think that David G kind of gives you permission to do that and to move forward in your life. You know, I don't know. I just think he does it in a very unique way, and not in a super kind of self-help way, but just in like a spirituality way, and just about how, you know, the world works and the universe works and that sort of thing. So definitely going to be reading this. Like, this is numero uno, my top priority. Look at how beautiful it is as well. And I recommend it to you guys as well from what I have read of it so far. The next book that I have up here, I have had this book for a really long time. It is by John Green, and it is called Turtles All the Way Down. You may know John Green. He wrote The Fault in Our Stars, which is a very successful book and also a pretty successful movie. I have not read that book, but it's just such a highly rated book. I'm gonna be honest, I just don't think I'm in the right place, like mentally, to read that book. And I've had this book for a really long time. My best friend, actually a lot of these books my best friend gave me, which is just funny. But this book, essentially, I only know like the very basic plot lines of it. I don't know anything, like no spoilers, nothing like that. It is about a young girl who is struggling with her own anxieties and has a lot of panic attacks. She is 16, and she's kind of like coming into her own, again, like getting ready to go to college. And her name is Aza. And there is a mystery of a fugitive billionaire, Russell Pickett, and her best friend kind of convinces her to like follow this mystery and try to find out what happened to this billionaire. They're also very close to his son, so that kind of like adds a crazy dynamic to it as well. Again, I know very little about this book. I just know kind of like the basic plot lines and like what the inside of the book says. So the reason that I haven't read this book is I have heard that if you deal with any type of anxiety or panic attacks or any type of anxiety disorder, you really have to be in a good place to read this book. From what I understand, there is a lot of kind of like trigger warnings for anxiety and for panic attacks. The main character struggles with panic attacks and anxiety herself. And from what I hear, John Green is really amazing in the way that he describes what it's like to have anxiety and describes what it's like to have a panic attack. And you really kind of get the feel that you're in her head. And if anybody deals with anxiety, then you know that that's really difficult to explain about what a panic attack feels like or what anxiety feels like and that sort of thing. So up until very recently, I have been afraid to read this book because I just feel like it would not sit well with me mentally. So it's on my list, and if I am in a good place and I feel like I'm doing better, I am going to start reading this summer. So next up is another, this is a YA book, and this is called Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, initially I went for this book, and again, I didn't buy this, my best friend bought this for me, I think for Christmas or my birthday, I can't remember. But I initially was drawn to this book, like just by the cover and like just the artwork, and I just think that it's really, really pretty. Like I'm totally judging a book by its cover. And this book, again, I don't know too much about it. There is a girl named Penny Lee. She is a high schooler and she is getting ready to go to college, and her high school years have been just pretty lackluster and pretty mediocre. She's just kind of like gotten by, but nothing like that crazy, and she's just kind of feeling like unfulfilled in life, and she's getting ready to go to college and kind of like start over again. And right before she leaves, she meets a boy. His name is Sam. And I think he is a little bit older, but they meet at a cafe. Sam works at the cafe and he is actually homeless, so he is sleeping there as well. And like I said, he works there, and they kind of like hit it off while like in the cafe, and they exchange numbers, and then the book follows like as she goes to college, they keep in contact and they keep talking about life, and they really develop like a good connection with each other. And I think that's why the book's called I'm Your Emergency Contact or Emergency Contact. So I'm really excited. I think that this is kind of like a unique book. I haven't heard of, I feel like the plot is unique in this aspect, and I'm really excited to read it. This next book, I truly like know nothing about. Like this is probably the book out of all five that I know the least about. And this book is called A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I have heard about V.E. Schwab all over BookTube, and they are a really popular author. They've done a lot of great work. So the reason I have decided to read this book is focused more on like fantasy and magic, and that is something that I really have no interest reading. I haven't read kind of a fantasy magic novel, I don't think, since I was a teenager. It's just not my thing. You know, normally I go for more like contemporary books, and I'm just not that big into fantasy and magic, but I want to break out and I want to read something new and kind of like see what I like. So this book is about, there are 4 Londons. There's Grey London, where magic is kind of repressed and it's just yucky and kind of cold and desolate and stuff like that. There's Red London, which magic is very fiery and vibrant and there. White London, which I don't think says much of, is that a city that's being slowly drained through this magical war. And then there's Black London, which we can assume is kind of destroyed. Nobody talks about it anymore. Nobody goes there. And you follow your main character, Kel. I think that's it. Yes, Kel. I'm good. You follow Kel, who is one of the last kind of magicians, I guess you could call them, that can travel between all 4 Londons. They're also a smuggler, so that can be very difficult. That is illegal, and they smuggle things like all throughout the 4 Londons. So essentially that is what the story is following Cal going about their journeys. They meet some really interesting characters throughout the way and just kind of have to go about their days and survive and learn about all 4 Londons. Let me read like the last couple paragraphs. It says, but perilous magic is afoot and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all of the worlds, they'll first need to stay alive. Prepare to be dazzled by a world of parallel Londons where magic thrives, starves, or lies forgotten, and where power can be destroyed just as quickly as it can create. So that is what A Darker Shade of Magic is about. Like I said, I know very little about this book. It is truly just what's on the inside cover. But I am challenging myself to read something kind of outside my comfort zone and to kind of change it up. So I will keep you guys updated. This next book. Ooh, this next book, I am so excited to read it. I have had this book for a year, again. I've had this book for a year. It came out last fall and I just didn't get around to it, but it has been on my reading list for about 10 months. I am so excited to read it. Oh my goodness. But just to preface, this will be kind of like my end of summer reading. Like I really want to read this as we're going into the fall and going into Halloween. So this book is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. Like I said, this book was so highly recommended on BookTube. I'm so excited. So essentially, this book takes place it is a contemporary book, meaning it takes place in modern times. It takes place in a town in the Pacific Northwest, and it is about 3 witches that come back to this town every year around Halloween. Or no, I'm sorry, I don't think it's specific. I don't know what time they actually come around. Maybe I'm just confusing it with when this book was released. But they come back every year, and the 3 witches were killed during the Salem witch trials. So they come back every year and they possess 3 teenage girls who then lure teenage boys with, you know, the booty, which lure 3 teenage boys and they drown them in the harbor. So this happens every single year and the town residents are just kind of aware that it happens and nobody's really doing anything about it. They're just like, oh, well, it's gonna happen. And also all the residents know that it's going to happen. So I believe the book follows a young girl. I don't know if it follows a boy as well. Oh yes, it does. It follows a young girl named Penny. She meets a boy that they have a good connection with. They really like each other. And it's just kind of like this whole dynamic of like the witches are coming. I don't know if Penny becomes possessed. Yeah, but this year on the eve of the sisters' return, which are the witches, a boy named Beau Carter arrives unaware of the danger that he has just stumbled into. Mistrust and lies spread quickly through the salty, rain-soaked streets. Townspeople will turn against one another. Penny and Beau will suspect the other of hiding secrets, and death will come swiftly to those who cannot resist the call of the sisters. I am so excited. I think that this is just like a fun, kind of like creepy novel and it is YA, so young adult, so it is not, I don't think it would be too graphic and I don't think it's going to be too like crazy. I think it's just going to be just enough to be like spooky and ready for Halloween. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Guys, so this book I am not going to read until like September, like the very end of the summer going into fall. This is going to be on my reading list. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's different, but I really want to switch it up. Reading is really something that I want to do more regularly, and I'm hoping that this will motivate me. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, if you want to see more, if you want to see more book stuff. I'm so happy to provide. Before I go real quick, because this video is going up on a Friday, I do want to do like a little Friday follow. There are 3 booktubers that I really want to recommend to you guys. There is Peruse Project, A Clockwork Reader, and Thoughts on Tomes. I'll have their stuff popped up on the screen somewhere, or I'll have just popped it up. And I'll have their channels linked down below. Those are my 3 girls, man. Those are the 3 girls that I follow the most on BookTube. I really, really like all of them. I feel like all of them are very different. Like I don't know them personally, but I don't think that they read the same things. I think that they have very different tastes, but they all have really wonderful, unique perspectives, and they all are really good booktubers. So definitely check them out if you're interested. I think you guys will really like them. But that is all I have for you today, guys. I love you forever, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.